So I got to know what kind of questions might be asked in the interview. And interview is more of an interaction kind of a thing. So they test your personality. So just be calm. And if there's something you don't know, be honest and accept that it's something you're not aware about it. And that's it.
Hello everyone, welcome to iExamB. Students, today we have Prerna Singh with us who has cleared the SEBI Grade A Legal Officer examination. Welcome Prerna, welcome to iExamB and congratulations for your success from all of us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wishes.
Yeah, welcome Prerna. So Prerna, going ahead with sharing your experience and all, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself, your educational background, professional background?
Yes, ma'am. I did my undergraduation in law from Gujarat National Law University in 2021. After that, I did my post-graduation in criminal law from Nirma University. I worked at Reliance Industries Limited for about 5 months. And in the month of January last year, I left my job. And since then, I have been preparing for this examination.
Okay, Prerna. So you were working in Reliance and then you left the job and went ahead with SEBI. So from where did you came to know about SEBI and what motivated actually to go ahead with SEBI?
Ma'am, I appeared for this examination last year as well. And since then, I really wanted to join SEBI. I thought that it has a great career opportunity. However, last time I could not make it. So while I was working, I realized that I won't be able to give my 100% to it if I have a full-time job. So in order to give my 100%, I needed more time, which is why I thought of leaving my current job and started focusing only on this.
Okay, Prerna. So what about your education? Like you mentioned, you have done masters also, correct?
Yeah.
With specialization in criminal law, you mentioned. And if we talk about SEBI, many chances with the corporate law and all, and which student fear of also. So how was your take with respect to that?
Ma'am, in 2021, when I graduated, I was actually thinking of judiciary as a career option for a very brief period of time, which is why I started my master's in criminal law. It was only when I appeared for this examination last year, I realized that I want to go in securities law and corporate law. And since then I have not appeared for any other judicial service examination. I have been actually waiting only for this opportunity to come. Okay. Talking about the fear of corporate law and securities law, I think in the beginning, I was also scared of Companies Act. But I actually went through the entire video that was available on the iExamB course. And I really want to thank you because all the concepts were made easier for us in that videos. I started watching those videos and then I read Bare Acts. So it was easier to understand. And I think then there is no other thing. You need to work hard on it. So I just did multiple readings of the Bare Act and that's how I got comfortable with this subject.
Okay, Prerna. So that's great. So videos you found were helpful and so they helped you in your preparation.
Yeah. I used to start my subjects with those videos.
Okay.
And then I used to read the corresponding portion in the Bare Act and then solve questions. So that's how I went about it. It just makes your study easier.
Okay, in a strategic way, you started off with understanding the concepts, then moving ahead with the Bare Act, and then on to the solving of the questions. So talking about the Bare Act, how important it is to study the Bare Act also apart from the materials, study materials and all?
I think Bare Act is the most important part for this examination. Even if you don't go through study materials and you go through Bare Act, you have done enough. So I don't think skipping Bare Act is okay. And also that's the real law. So if we are actually lawyers, we need to be comfortable with Bare Acts. And that would just happen by just reading multiple times. In the first go, it might happen that we are not able to understand that language. But with multiple readings, we would be able to understand it. And for this examination, Bare Act is the Bible. So even if you go through Bare Act 4 to 5 times, you would be able to crack the examination. It's very important.
Okay, Prerna. Now, talking about your preparation strategy, what was your approach or how you went ahead with your preparation? So, can you discuss that?
Yes, ma'am. So starting with the first phase, there are two papers, paper one and paper two. In the first paper, there are again four sections. So talking about the English section, I had my education in English medium only, so it has always been my strength. So I didn't really put a lot of effort into it, but yes, I actually solved questions that were on my course, and that way I just got comfortable with the questions that might be asked in the examination. So also I would want to say that you just need to meet the cutoff in at this particular stage, which is 30%.
Right.
So try to put efforts accordingly. I chose my two strengths, which is English and reasoning. For reasoning, again, I think I worked the maximum in this section. I went through every video that was available on the course, solved many questions, gave many tests, and that's how I practice a lot of questions actually in this particular thing. For maths, I only went through the important topics that might be asked in the examination, and I was able to solve most of the questions with that level of preparation. For general awareness, I thought it's too vast for me to cover right now because I started my phase one preparation only a month back before the exam.
Okay.
So, so I would just advise everyone to pick up your two strengths and take one more thing and work on important areas from the third thing. And that way you would be able to clear the cutoff. So I just played on my strengths basically in paper one. I think what matters again here is to try to attempt as many questions as possible while you are giving this examination, because it happens that we have this thing in our mind that we only need to score 30, and that way we actually end up attempting less number of questions, because again reasoning is time consuming part. So try to attempt as many questions as possible and work on your strengths in paper one is what I would advise everyone. Those who want to focus on general awareness and those who think it's their strength, they can actually go through Bpedias and just go through what's happening around, and that way you would be easily able to solve 5 to 6 questions from that section also.
Okay, so that is a very important takeaway for all those who are preparing for this exam, like how to plan for your exam, how to take each of these areas and go ahead with it. And as you mentioned, bare acts and then going ahead with your strength, becoming more pro into that will actually help them. Great, Prerna. So now talking about the materials, the resources, or the strategy which you actually adopted, like strategy, some of them you mentioned. So how or what are the resources and all you basically went ahead with, which you think actually helped in your preparation and that helped you to crack the exam?
Ma'am, so for the first paper, I actually went through the course only, because I thought that everything is available at one place only, and I just appeared for tests. For the second phase, I focused more on bare acts, and if there's something that I think I need to understand better, I used to also go through videos that are again available on the course, and that would actually help me to revise what I studied from the bare acts. So that way, just go through the videos, understand what's the concept given in the bare act, and solve as many questions as possible. Just try to expose yourself to as many questions as possible, and that way you would be able to again crack the paper 2 part of the first phase.
Okay, so Prerna, the videos we provided, there were a lot of section tests, then MCQ booklets and all.
Yeah, I think reading one thing again and again is better than reading multiple things. आपके पास जो कोर्स है, I think it's like a guiding light to your preparation. आप अपने हिसाब से प्रिपरेशन कर सकते हो if that is what you are comfortable in, but use this course as a guidance, because आपको जो भी टॉपिक्स एग्जाम में आने वाले हैं वो सब कुछ एक ही जगह पे प्रोवाइडेड है, तो you don't have to actually find a lot of things outside this course. At least for the first phase, paper 1, you can only go through the course, and even if you want to go outside it, for the second phase, go through the PDFs that are there on the board and go through bare acts. That's it. Because again, in paper 2 also you need to score 40% marks, and in aggregate 80%. So by reading bare acts, by understanding the concept, you would be able to clear this stage as well.
So Prerna, we can say that iExamB course which you took and the materials provided in that actually helped you with your preparation.
Yeah, definitely. It acted as a guidance to my preparation.
Okay.
So I would definitely recommend all the candidates to go through it properly.
Okay, Prerna. That's great, Prerna. Now coming on to the SEBI examination, as you already mentioned, there are 3 phases. Basically, phase 1 is there, then phase 2, and finally we have the interview. The most important aspect this time was कि इस बार syllabus ही change हो गया phase 2 का, and that was actually shock to many of the students. They were like panicking. They couldn't cope up with that syllabus change and all. Correct. Because a lot of regulations were added. Then Companies Act में भी बहुत सारे chapters add कर दिए थे. And then moving on to the descriptive portion, that was also something very new. So there was a panic among the students. So how did you go ahead with that? Like, how did you cope with this syllabus change aspect?
Ma'am, actually, I was quite indifferent to the change in syllabus. I thought it as an opportunity to actually learn more of securities law, because we were already prepared with those 3 acts that were asked earlier. So I was actually excited to learn something new. And I just thought that there's no other option than to just go and prepare.
Yeah, you mentioned that, because अगर syllabus change हो गया, there is nothing you can do except to get up your preparation more and to go ahead with that. So basically यहाँ पे आप कितने अच्छे से उसको देखते हैं, that approach towards that basically matters. आपने उसको positive way में लिया उस syllabus change को, and then you moved ahead and you thought of learning something new. Because अगर SEBI join करना है तो SEBI से related जितने भी चीजें हैं आपको आनी चाहिए.
Exactly.
Correct. So that is
because even if you clear the exam, you need to work in securities law.
True.
So one needs to be comfortable in this area, and it was actually I was okay with this thing. But yeah, I understand the panic which was there among the students, because we were prepared with the earlier syllabus and now the syllabus has changed. But again, it's a game of our mindset. We need to be positive and train our mind that okay, this has happened and we need to go about it right now. So from the day 1, I got my printouts of the regulations and started studying.
Okay. Yes, that is basically very important. मतलब situations change होंगे, but you have to be very focused on to your goal is what matters.
Yes.
Okay. And talking about the descriptive aspect, क्योंकि वो descriptive way इस बार नया add हुआ था. So how you went with descriptive preparation? Again, the strategy, how you manage the time, everything with respect to that.
For the descriptive section, again, because one reads bare acts multiple times for the objective section.
Correct.
So because I read it multiple times, keywords and everything was already in my mind. Practice, yes, I went through again the PDFs that were provided by iExamB only. If there is something which might be asked outside the bare acts, because in Companies Act, a lot of doctrines are also asked.
Sure.
So that's not there in the bare act. So I went through those, and again, I just tried to read as much as possible. I went through the PDFs, read bare acts, and if there is something, for example, in Companies Act, there are class action suits. I thought the question might be asked on this. So I just practiced also. With respect to time, I think time would be sufficient because there's 1 hour for 3 questions. So if you just give 20 minutes to every question also, you would be able to write a good answer. So time, I don't think would be an issue. Just try to stick to your time that you're decided for yourself, which is around 20-25 minutes per question, and you would be able to do it. Just try to read as much as possible for the descriptive part, because one doesn't know which area they will ask questions.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you need to know about a lot of areas for descriptive part.
Okay, so in your preparation, you also went ahead with giving the descriptive aspect also?
Yeah, I gave about 3 to 4 mocks for descriptive.
Okay, so
just to see what kind of questions are being asked and if I'm able to complete it within 1 hour.
So how was your mock descriptive papers?
It was absolutely fine, ma'am. I think it was something new for us. So we didn't really know what kind of questions will be asked. So
Yeah.
if one gives mock, we get a little calmer, and and if we are able to answer those things, we are confident enough to attempt in the main exam also. So just try to give mocks to get rid of this fear of descriptive, and read as much as possible.
Yeah, because practice will be helping to come out of that fear, or will give a practice basically. Correct.
Yes, yes.
So appearing for the
Yes.
mocks is a good practice for going ahead, whether it be objective type or the descriptive type basically. Okay, Prerna, that's great. Now the final stage, that is of the interview phase. So how you went ahead with interview preparation? Did you go ahead with any of the mock interviews? And what were actually some of the questions which were asked in the actual interview?
Ma'am, for the interview stage, so while I was preparing for the exam, phase 1 and phase 2, if there's anything that I would come across, for example, I came across green shoe option or regulatory sandbox, I will just make a note of it. And I made a document, basically about 30 to 40 page long document. I just collected every topic around securities law and just make a note of it. So I used to go through it again and again. So for example, if there is reads, InVids, like these are new things that are coming up in securities law.
Yeah.
So just go through SEBI's website, go through terminologies that are being asked, for example, debentures and corporate bonds, or municipal bonds, so many things, and try to know what they are and what is SEBI doing with it. So that way you would cover recent happenings around securities law. For the interview, again, there would be some HR-based questions, personal questions, or education background and all. I had my master's in criminal law, so I was asked more on criminal law side. There were criminal law amendment bills. What is my opinion on it? What are elements of crime? What is the section in IPC regarding mens rea? I was asked these questions. Securities law, I was asked about vicarious liability of SEBI. What are derivatives, types of derivatives? I was asked these kinds of questions in the interview stage. But again, it's profile based. So just be thorough with your profile and practice HR questions. I gave one mock interview at iExamB. So that was again a very fruitful session because I got to know, because it was my first interview. Okay. So I got to know what kind of questions might be asked in the interview. And interview is more of an interaction kind of a thing. So they test your personality. So just be calm. And if there's something you don't know, be honest and accept that it's something you're not aware about it. And that's it. It's more of a personality test.
True, because knowledge has already been tested in the various phases which the students appeared for. So it is all about personality, how you go ahead with the questions being asked and how you tackle it. True?
Yeah, thorough with the basics at least, because it's important to at least know the basics and the recent happenings around SEBI.
True, Prerna, that is true. Thank you very much, Prerna, for all the inputs you have given to all those who are aspiring for this particular SEBI Grade A Legal Officer examination. That was actually a good insight, a good experience sharing you did, and that will actually help the students to see how they should go ahead with this particular exam with your experience and all. So Prerna, before we end, do you have any final takeaway for the students who are preparing for this particular exam?
Ma'am, I would just say that there's no other substitute for hard work. If you really want this to happen, work hardest and just keep yourself positive. Just keep yourself calmer while you're preparing for it. There would be sounds around you, but you should be focused in your preparation and just focus on it, and you would be able to make it. Just go through the bare acts and practice as many questions as possible and have a positive mindset. So you would definitely be able to clear this exam and achieve your dream. Just work. That's it.
Thank you very much, Prerna, for all your inputs, for sharing your experience. And again, congratulations to you for your success and
Thank
all
you,
the
ma'am.
best for your future. Thank you very much, Prerna.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.